All right. Hi, Lon. How are you? Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
More than welcome. Thank you for having me.
I was just looking at your book covers. Genre? Can you give me
Science fiction.
some science fiction? Okay. In my day, I know I'm going to sound like your grandfather to say that, but we had about five genres, and that was it. And now there's like 500.
hmm
So it's science fiction. What are some of the subgenres it might fall under?
Best one would be space opera, really. Sort of actiony adventure in space type of thing. So
Star Trek? Would that be a space opera?
more Star Wars than Star Trek.
So when you say space opera, that means like soap opera in space?
Sorta. It's because the in the way I've always had it described to me is Star Wars is sort of your prototypical space opera because you've got good and evil clashing, and uh, you've got giant ships moving around, and you've got the and forces of good and evil fighting against each other, love, romance, and betrayal, and everything. So, uh, but in sort of a not melodramatic way, but just sort of heightening some of those more dramatic elements that you would get in like a soap opera type of thing.
Okay, so you've got pretty good character development then?
I'd say.
All right. What kind of year is this set in? How far in the future are we?
Uh, well, I probably I want to say it's probably about 150, 200 years in the future.
Do you want to give us a brief synopsis? Which book are you promoting right now?
Promoting. I don't have it with me because I'm such a good person at promoting. The first one, Junker Blues Mars.
Okay,
Um,
give us a
it's
synopsis.
the basic synopsis is a scrapper, although he calls himself a junkologist, uh, is roaming through old derelict ships, finds this strange thing, and basically starts running because people continue to chase after him, wanting what it is that he has.
I suppose any more descriptions going to give away the story?
I mean, the thing is, it's there's not really. I mean, the other part of it is that because I did something the the solar system in this book series, sort of like the prehistory of it is this alien thing that I call the crawl has basically taken over Earth um, and basically has um, taken it over. People were ran off to Mars and the outer planets uh, to survive. They joined up with another group of aliens called the Eridani, who the main character knows because he's worked with them. He knows that they are nothing but grifters, but they have more advanced technology and they're able to sort of stop this alien crawl from getting past a certain point, even though that doesn't completely happen because the crawler are an enemy, the Eridani are an enemy, and just humans in general are sort of enemies to the main character Marcus Redding.
Okay, how many books have you written now?
Of this series, I've got two. I've got one more that's sort of on the back burner as of right now because I kind of got burnt out with writing the series. So,
Okay, how many books have you written in your entire life?
uh, 35, 40.
Oh, a lot. You've been
Yeah,
doing this a while.
yeah.
So tell us a little backstory. How'd you get started in all this?
I've been I long long time ago when I was in about fourth grade, there was this writing prompt that the teacher put up on the chalkboard, and I kind of just went with it and ran with it. And every time I have had any, even in grade school, I always loved those assignments of, they give us this little writing prompt and you can just kind of go off and you're supposed to write like a page or two. I would come back with 5 or 6. I never saw it as an actual career for a long time. Even in the beginning of college, I actually was a political science major. And then because the thing is, I also write fantasy books. I haven't actually marketed any of them yet. But way back in the beginning of college, I got into a game of Dungeons and Dragons, and I started to write. I started to have all these fantasy ideas, and started to write all those down as well. So, writing has just sort of always been there.
You mentioned Dungeons and Dragons. I'm looking at you and guessing that I'm considerably older, but that game was around when I was in school.
Mm-hmm.
It's been around a long time, yeah?
Yeah.
Has it changed at all? I mean, is it still the same?
It's the same basic idea. When I was in school, second edition was still around, and that was vastly different than what has come out and the most current iteration now, which is a dominant force and an edition that I like to play. But the basic concept is the same. The rules have changed greatly, I should say.
Okay, because I remember I never got into it, but I remember the kids that were playing it, and they had a dice, and they had books, and
Yep.
all kinds of strange things. I never quite got it, I never understood the idea. So they take on the character. It's role play, yeah.
Yeah, you sort of take on you're a fighter or a thief or a wizard, and you and a few others sometimes sort of create a little party, and another guy, the guy who's in charge of making the game, basically the game master, dungeon master, whatever, will sort of give your character challenges, and based off of what they can do versus like skills they have, they might have a very certain set of skills that they can use for something. Like, fighters are good at hitting things, thieves are good for stealing stuff and getting through traps, and wizards are more magic, obviously, casting fireball and other types of magic-y stuff. They're healers. There's a very eclectic mix of stuff that you can sort of be, and you don't have to be a human. You can be a dwarf. You can be an elf, a halfling. Think anything from Lord of the Rings, and you could probably be any of those things. You could be anything from almost any fantasy book around.
Are you making a living at this, at writing?
At the moment, no, but I'm doing my damnedest.
Have any of your books become screenplays, or have you converted them, or has anybody been interested in making films from them?
There was one person who talked about it, but it was actually on a different interview. It was a call-in show, and the person said they were interested, and I gave them my information, and I never heard from them. So.
Oh, well, that's so unusual in Hollywood.
Right? I know, it's so strange.
Yeah, what is it? I forget who said it, but they said Hollywood is the land of 1,000 no's and maybe one yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's that one yes.
It's the one yes that can make it. Yeah, absolutely. Because the yes in Hollywood typically doesn't lead to Burger King. It usually is a little more lofty than that.
A little bit, touch better.
So what's on your schedule for any future books?
Well, I'm currently working on another series. The first one is about 50% done, maybe 60% done, and it's the first in a series called the series is the Starlight series. Uh, different world type of thing. It doesn't use everything from like the Junker Blues series is a different world essentially. Um, and this one is should be 5 books. I'm hoping to get the first one out. I'm hoping to get the first one out in January, February, and just work on the rest of that book series, as well as at some point releasing the third of the Junker Blues series. And just I have an ambition to try to do at least 8 books next year.
Well, that is ambitious. Yeah, definitely. Has COVID affected you at all in the sense of giving you more time
It
to
really
write?
has.
Yeah.
Actually, I think if it wasn't for COVID, I would still be struggling with writing the first book. So,
Okay. So some people have actually, done a little bit better. I mean, most of us have in this business, we've seen our business increase as a result of COVID.
yeah.
So, all right. We do have to wrap this up. Do you have a website you want to give out?
Sure do. The site is Lon Varnadore author.com. That's LonVarnadore author.com.
Okay, great. And hold up your book again. Junker Blues. All right. And it's out and available Amazon everywhere, yeah?
It's available on Amazon as far as an ebook goes, print book, Amazon, and I think a few others. It's also on Audible and about 30 or 40 other audio places. So there's an audiobook as well.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. It was nice meeting you. Nice talking to you.